The man had been hunchbacked for over 20 years, never having stood up straight, but the scientific genius, Victor, decided to change his fate. Ignoring the man's resistance, forcefully inserted a huge syringe into the man's body. Soon, a large amount of substance was extracted from the man's back, and Victor manually expelled part of it. The rest was slowly removed due to the suction principle, restoring the spine that had been compressed for 20 years. Before the man could recover from his shock, Victor took a running start and forcibly straightened his spine, then put on a device specially designed to correct spinal alignment. The man, who had been hunchbacked for over 20 years, miraculously stood up straight. He meticulously cleaned every inch of his skin with a brush, cut off his tangled long hair, and shaved off his beard. Even the man himself was startled by his own transformation. For the past 20 years, he had lived as a clown in a circus, humiliated in public daily to amuse the audience. But as one door closed, another opened for him. He had a natural talent for anatomy, able to identify every minor structure inside the human body just by looking, despite only being self-taught. However, his extraordinary talent was dismissed as foolish dreams by those in the circus, until that day when the man who would change his life appeared at circus. But at that time, the hunchback man was still foolishly admiring his unrequited love, whose performance rope suddenly snapped, causing her to fall heavily. Apart from the hunchback man, Victor, who was also in the audience, went to check on her. The hunchback man immediately saw that she had broken her collarbone and dislocated her shoulder, causing difficulty in breathing due to the pressure on her lungs. Even Victor was helpless in this situation, lacking professional tools. But the hunchback man simply took a look and asked Victor for his pocket watch, then pressed it against the woman's broken collarbone and pushed hard, successfully allowing her to breathe again. Victor was relieved to find such a medical genius by his side and openly stated that the hunchback man was too talented to be a clown. Unexpectedly, this comment got the hunchback man locked up by the circus owner, who warned him he'd never escape control. But as soon as the owner left, Victor forcefully picked the lock and took the hunchback man away. Their escape caused a significant disturbance in the circus and even resulted in a death. Although they managed to escape through the sewer, they attracted police attention not just because of the riot and the fatality, but also because the police were investigating an animal cruelty case where animals were being killed and their organs removed. The police found a bear paw in the circus and quickly considered Victor and the hunchbacked man as suspects. But after the treatment, the hunchbacked man, now completely transformed and given a new name by Victor, Harry, was unaware that the man who had given him a new life was actually a mad scientist and the very criminal suspected by the police of mutilating animals for his secret insane experiments. Due to the enormous scale of the work, Victor needed talents like Harry's, so he decided it was time to reveal the truth to Harry. Men take out a pile of organs from the basement every day. They hand them over to the assistant. After correcting the wrong nerves on the organs, he secretly sends them back underground. This strange behavior continued for a month, but the assistant never thought about what exactly Victor is secretly researching. Until after 81 days, Victor finally shows Harry the results of their joint effort. He turns out to be a patchwork monster assembled from various animal organs, and under the action of a strong physical electric current, the patchwork monster actually came back to life. Born in the 18th century, they were able to create a life out of thin air in the environment of the time. It can simply be called a miracle. So Victor can't wait to show his research results at the Royal Academy. The students who attended were all local nobles, those who are wealthy in material like some. Harry prepares to pull the circuit breaker to witness the miracle again. But what they didn't expect was the patchwork creature had already turned into a pile of rotting flesh. Almost all the noble sons were dissuaded by this scene. But Victor is not planning to give up easily. He asked Harry to increase the electric current to the maximum. But the second electric shock ended in failure again. The nobles who hadn't left continuously mocked Victor. This forced the two to prove themselves. So they decided to try a third time. The result was that the electric current was so strong that it almost killed Victor. But as the nobles relentlessly mocked, the chest of the patchwork creature actually began to heat. But before everyone could recover from their astonishment, the patchwork creature suddenly started attacking Victor. And from his hollow eyes, it was clear he is just a soulless flesh machine. Harry tries to subdue the patchwork creature with fire, but this completely enraged the patchwork creature. After a chase, it was Victor who seized the opportunity and personally smashed his creation to death. But the noble sons still saw the strength of Victor and his partner. He decided to sponsor their further research. But what he wanted was not any stitched-together animal, but a completely new human being. A nearly insane brainstorming session began between the two geniuses. But just as the experiment reached a critical moment, the police suddenly arrived. At this point, neither wanted to be thrown into jail. In the struggle with the police, Victor pushed the policeman's hand into the rotating gears. The two then managed to escape from the laboratory. They had to continue their terrifying human creation plan abroad with the help of the noble son. To prove that the dead can also be resurrected, mad scientist Victor sewed an extra heart into the body to ensure more sufficient blood circulation. Then he increased the lung fluid in the chest cavity to 4 pints to ensure the body could breathe smoothly after resurrection. But just these physical modifications were far from enough. The most crucial thing was still the need for a huge amount of energy to activate the life form, and perhaps the only thing that could produce enough energy at once might be lightning. Victor quickly created a brand new human being, and soon a storm with thunder and lightning arrived. All researchers were tirelessly preparing the most crucial step. As the conductive hot air balloons gradually ascended, lightning quickly spread along the conductor to the experimental base. As the switches were pulled down one by one, a huge electric current formed a tail shape around the body. Everyone in the power plant was closely watching the body hanging in midair. After a flash of lightning and thunder, Victor really saw the body come to life. At that moment, an unconscious smile of comfort appeared on his face. This was undoubtedly a breakthrough that changed human history. But those immersed in joy did not notice history. The hot air balloon was still absorbing electricity in midair. The long collection of electric current led to a severe charge overload. The hot air balloon exploded, and the rope pulling the humanoid broke. The experimental base instantly became chaotic. Seeing his research results in danger, Victor rushed forward to stop it without regard for his own safety. But his efforts were insignificant. When a series of chain reactions subsided, the first humanoid in history successfully survived. But when Victor opened his arms to welcome his creation, the other's hollow gaze had not a trace of emotion. Victor then realized the person in front of him had no soul at all. Unexpectedly, the police who arrived suddenly shot at the humanoid. But this did not kill him. Instead, it enraged this emotionless monster. Even Victor, who created him, was attacked. Seeing the situation gradually getting out of control, Harry and Victor made a tough decision. Victor plunged a gun into the monster's body, but the other was like he couldn't be killed at all. No matter how the two retaliated, they never caused any harm to the monster. Even using electric shock to knock down the monster, and then stabbing a rod through the monster's heart, the monster was still alive. At this moment, Victor remembered he had installed 2 hearts in the monster from the beginning. Since he found the weakness, Victor's next attack aimed precisely at the monster's other heart. The first humanoid in history was thus ended. However, Victor's obsession with science did not make him stop. He firmly believed that he would find a way to create life during his life.